All right, everyone. So today we're going to be talking about XO 2018 and what that means for the future of Xbox. Now, that might seem kind of dramatic, but just bear with me for a moment. Now, normally I like to have gameplay, but I don't know how long this video is going to be, and I kind of want to talk. So, before E3 this year, people were wanting more studios from Microsoft, more creators, more games being made, because other than games like, and I know it's a meme by now, the whole Halo, Forza, and Gears, and I enjoy all three. But aside of that, the other games such as Recore, Sunset Overdrive, Rise, Son of Rome, Quantum Break, there were few and far in between. And while I enjoyed them, Microsoft really needed to put more games out that were big, because as much as I enjoy Halo, as much as I enjoy Gears, as much as I enjoy Forza, they need more staples. And when E3 happened and they announced the 5 studios, that was great. Because all of a sudden, like, as soon as that happened, I saw this narrative shift of people saying, well, they need more studios to where these games at. Because, if you have more than one brain cell, you can rub them together and figure out that games require time to be made. But that doesn't excuse the fact that Microsoft perhaps should have had more in development for, let's say, this holiday. Crackdown should have released this holiday, and I don't care what anyone says. And I know what Mr. Evan Greenberg said, but the fact is that I wanted Crackdown 3 this year, and it didn't come out, and it's not going to come out this year. But Gamescom is normally another place where all these games are shown off. But the thing is, Gamescom hasn't been treated big in years. I think 2015 might have been the last time it was kind of a big event and we saw new games being shown off. But since then, it hasn't been like that. And every year, PlayStation pretty much has the Paris Game Show after E3 and then PSX. And every time PSX comes around, I've noticed that the Xbox community can get a bit of a disarray, because, like, well, they're getting to see what's coming in the future before E3. What about us? And this has been part of the course for like 2-3 years. Well, yesterday Microsoft announced that XO is coming back, and the one in 2006 had a bunch to show. It had BioShock, it had Halo Wars. The list goes on, but the fact of the matter is that we're getting another event. Now, does that mean we're getting another on-stage conference? That's hard to tell. But the point of this video is that it's September, and they're going to show us more stuff, meaning that either some of the projects that they have going on are further ahead than we thought, meaning we can get more games earlier, like, in 2018. And it might show that they are willing to show some projects that's a bit further out. So this isn't a prediction video. That's coming later, but I think this is going to be healthy for not only the Xbox community, but the Xbox platform, because, look, people want more games, and be it third-party exclusives, first-party exclusives, third-party games in general, people want to see more games. And next year we have a bunch of big games coming out early on in the year. And one of the things people don't realize is that next year on Xbox, we actually have a bunch of Japanese games coming. We have DMC5, we have Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, we have things like all those Final Fantasy games, and there's more. But when I go back to saying that they may have more to show us, as in new projects, maybe Fable is further along than we thought. And we all know that Playground's working on Fable. Like, it's kind of obvious by now. But Playground Games can put out these games that get super high ratings and they're gorgeous, and they have these open worlds that are just rich in detail. Well, they're making an RPG, so you've got to wonder what's that really going to be like. Because I've seen some people say, well, they're going to get Fable Legends and use those assets. Well, here's the thing about video games: everything in those games are assets. They could take the base lighting model, and that could be the asset they use. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to use the same character models, and frankly, I don't want them to. This is a studio making an RPG. They should be given full reign to use what they want, how they want, and create their vision. And if their vision for Fable is something even slightly different than what we used to, I'm prepared for it, because it's 2018. Fable can't be how it used to be, can it now? And I'm a huge Fable fan. I'll happily play the other Fable games, but Fable needs to fundamentally change. Doesn't mean everything has to change about it. Then let's look at Ninja Theory. They were making their next game before the studio acquisition even went through. So you've got to wonder, do we see something like that? Then it comes to the whole, studio acquisitions, because the future of Xbox depends on the games being made, and the games being made by those studios are finite, which means that they could potentially announce another studio. So yesterday, Phil Spencer iterated that, XO was when they announced the Rare acquisition back in the day. Okay, that was a long time ago, but it's a strange thing to bring up. But you've got to realize that E3, they announced all those studios. You couldn't announce another studio just during a random inside Xbox. You couldn't do it just during a random blog post. No. It would have to be a live event. And yes, they said this XO thing is going to be the longest inside Xbox yet. But what you have to think about is that it's just the format. It's not necessarily how the show is going to be. So those rumors of Obsidian could potentially happen. And if that's the case, well, that means more RPGs coming for Xbox. And look, you're going to have some people commenting, people saying online, oh, you want Obsidian to be bought because you got no games or whatever. I think that's just silly. Like, look at Obsidian in the past. They've made some really good games, but they kind of held back by the limited funds. And what they've been able to do with those limited funds is really impressive if you think about it. So if the Obsidian thing does happen and they get more money and they have more resources to make a big RPG, that'd be good for the platform. I want more RPGs on Xbox. I think a lot of people want more games like that on the platform. And, I've seen some people say that Microsoft should acquire a Japanese studio and announce it. Well, here's the problem with that. I want more Japanese games on the platform. And personally, I want Mistwalker to make another Lost Odyssey. The problem with a Japanese studio acquisition is that would Japanese developers in their own country want to make games for a platform that doesn't sell in their country? I think that's the answer. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I really wish we could get another Lost Odyssey or something like that. But I guess we'll see in the future. But back to the whole Japanese games thing in the future of Xbox. This gen Japanese games seem to be doing better. Now there's a bunch that haven't sold that well. But to be honest, I think there are a bunch of games that aren't that good. Look at Final Fantasy 15. Fantastic game, sold well on Xbox. Look at Dark Souls 3. Fantastic game, sold well on Xbox. Monster Hunter World. Fantastic game, sold well on Xbox. There's a pattern. If the game is good and it's advertised, it will sell. So next year we have things like Final Fantasy X. Is that an old game? Yeah, it is, but it's good. It's a very good game actually. And honestly, I think a lot of people on Xbox would pick that up because, and I don't know how much that costs on PlayStation, but you've got to think, well, it's not going to be a full-on $60 now, is it? And then you have the older things like Final Fantasy VII. You're going to have people like me pick that up that want the nostalgia feel. But when it comes to more Japanese games, is that you have Square, you have Bandai that are remastering some of these last gen JRPGs, and they're not putting them on the Xbox platform, despite the fact that they were on the Xbox platform last gen. And to me, that's just wrong. So I think some of these games being shown at XO, some of these Japanese games could potentially happen. And when it comes to XO in general, I think people wanted another show in between E3s. And if you think about it, October/November is the perfect time to do that. If you're going to get 2 shows a year and Gamescom's going to be this just live stream with some announcements, I think that's the way to go. I think that's the best way to go for Xbox. And frankly, I really wanted another show this year. And I heard things, a lot of people heard things, but you can never really tell. Going on some message board isn't really a source. It just is. But anyway, back to my point. Microsoft needed another show this year, and you've got to wonder that, considering all the games that were shown at E3, you've got to wonder if there is some surprises for XO. What exactly did they hold off from showing? That's the really interesting question. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please hit like and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. The link for my Twitter will be in the description down below. And yeah, I'm going to get more videos out. I average like 1 a week. I want to get that up to 3 because I don't really cover news. I'm more like talk about topics in general. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. If you enjoyed the video, you know the deal. Hope everyone has a very good day. I'm out.